My Patreon member's current terminal subclade is I-BY45889, which dates to the pre-Roman Iron Age around 106 BCE. During the late Neolithic and into the Bronze Age, the vast majority of people positive for haplogroup I1 would have had patrilineal forefathers living in the regions that are shaded in red, and this applies to my Patreon member as well. He is positive for the very proficient upstream Bronze Age subclade IY2170, which dates to approximately 1757 BCE. This proficient Bronze Age chieftain or king would have patrilineal descendants that were found amongst ancient DNA samples associated with Swedish Vikings and Danish Vikings. The earliest evidence for IY2170 comes from the 2020 study, Population Genomics of the Viking World. Roman Iron Age ancient DNA evidence for IY2170 was found with ancient DNA sample VK521, who was discovered in Bronssager, Torsenray, Sealand, Denmark. It's not marked on the following map, but Bronssager Torsenray is located in northeastern Sealand, Denmark, between Roskilde and Copenhagen. To quote the supplemental information in regards to VK521, quote, "The grave contained rich grave goods," end quote. So potentially Mr. VK521 was some type of powerful and important individual in their society. More ancient DNA evidence for IY2170 discovered at the Viking double ship burial at Salme, Saaremaa, Estonia with VK496. Saaremaa is an island in the Baltic Sea off the coast of mainland Estonia. To quote the supplemental information from the study, quote, 41 Swedish males who died violently were buried in 2 boats accompanied by high-status weaponry, end quote. More Swedish Viking Age ancient DNA evidence with VK539 discovered in Shestovice, Ukraine. To quote the supplemental information in regards to the location of Shestovice, quote, 12 kilometers southwest from the city of Chernigov, end quote. In the following map of Varangian trade routes, you can see the location of Chernigov in regards to the Dnieper River and the city of Kiev. So VK539 was most certainly a Swedish Viking with some association with the Kievan Rus. More IY2170 ancient DNA evidence found in the 2022 study, the Anglo-Saxon migration and the formation of the early English gene pool. The ancient sample was labeled Schleswig 8. He dated sometime between 1120 and 1160 CE. He was discovered in Rathausmarkt, Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. This location in the following map from the study is the Red Diamond in the southern Jutland Peninsula. To quote the supplemental information in regards to this location, quote, its history is intrinsically tied to the prosperous Viking trading center Hathabu, 8th century to 1066 CE, end quote. Considering that my Patreon member can trace his earliest known patrilineal ancestors to the British Isles, I feel that the westward migrations of the Danish Vikings best represents his patrilineal forefathers. My Patreon member claims England for the earliest known patrilineal country of origin, but I did some research regarding his surname and it appears to have roots in Wales. Other people also positive for his current terminal subclade list Scotland and Italy for their earliest known patrilineal countries of origin. Furthermore, I belong to the same project as this Patreon member, and there are people presumed positive for this branch as well that list Ireland and Wales for the earliest known patrilineal countries of origin. Even though the I-BY45889 subclade predates the Normans by over a millennia, I found it quite interesting that all of these earliest known patrilineal countries of origin are places that the Normans were known to have influence in. Wales, Ireland, Scotland, Italy. So even though it's very speculative, I feel there can be some possible correlation between this branch and the Normans. Furthermore, the one kit that claims Italy for the earliest known patrilineal country of origin is also positive for the downstream subclade I-FT144642, which dates to around 1226 CE. This date correlates very well and very close to when the Normans were consolidating their power in Italy and were forming the Kingdom of Sicily. Unfortunately, my Patreon member does not have any promising leads yet amongst his STR matches. He has 0 Y111 matches, 0 Y67 matches, and only 2 Y37 matches who both have a genetic distance of 4 to him. One of those 2 is most likely positive for an upstream branch, and the other one has already tested Y111 and does not match my Patreon member anywhere past Y37. So neither of those 2 are very promising. Hopefully though, one day my Patreon member gets that special match he's awaiting, and who knows, maybe it might even be from Normandy, France one day, and might help prove my currently speculative theory regarding his current terminal subclade. Thanks for watching.